Looking at our pricing model, this is for a large company that is really making a big investment right now into something that's going to immediately affect their company. And they're looking, 10 years, 20 years down the road, growing this relationship with us. That's starting big. Like I said, I want to dial it back as well after I talk about this to really help you just see how big it can get, but also how small it can get with just even one project. The pricing model for the larger clients, we try to pitch as a 3-month upfront payment structure. So we basically take that first month learning phase, which is right here. And this is why this is so important and why it's a month long if we're going to go down this big route. Nobody's doing this, which I think is cool. It also solves a problem that a lot of agencies deal with. And that's investing a lot of time up front and not getting paid till 1 to 3 months after a lot of work's done, and that's hard for an agency, I know, because what happens is you do all this learning, you're in meetings, you're pre-producing a project, you're now paying for actors, for locations, for your team's time to implement things or to start building this campaign or project, whatever you're doing, and then you bill the company 30 days later, for that month, right? After the month's passed, then you don't see that money for a month, sometimes 90 days after. And so you're forking money as a business for a while until you start to see it come back. And it's not healthy. It can be sustainable depending on how much cash flow you have, but it's not fun as a business owner to have that happen because you're watching money go away and it's like, when's that check going to come in? It sucks. So this solves that. This big one. You can take this into smaller chunks too. It's just a cool way to start with a business. So you've got the month free, which is the learning phase. Okay. So you take the month one, and let's just call it even, I don't know, a week or 2 meetings of learning. And that's all free. We're giving value. We're giving a lot of our attention. We're giving our strategy. We're giving our opinions. That's all coming for free. And we're just putting our time and money into this. So we go through, let's just say, I'm going to keep it in this large phase. So the month one, we go through that whole month for free. At the beginning of month 2, we've now discovered what they need. Because if a company needs a ton of things right here, let's say they need all of it, you don't know that right up front when you have that first meeting, which is clear back here. You have to learn what they need, and it's hard to give an accurate price, especially if it's a big retainer, on what that's going to cost until you know what they need. So it's important to go through this month for free and establish the foundation, understand the needs, assess deliverables. That gets us into the beginning of month 2. So this is where you're going to offer a 3-month upfront payment. It can also be a smaller payment based on how long that first learning phase was, right? But I still think this works well for any size. So, for example, let's just say they're like, hey, I want a $10,000 a month retainer. There's these things that fit into that. So then you're going to say, all right, to get started, and this is going to be all up front too. Like I said in one of the sections, it's so important to be upfront and transparent about pricing. So this stuff should come up early, especially if you know that they want a lot. We're going to say, hey, we're going to learn a lot about your company in the first month. We're going to tell you what we think you need. We're going to find out what you've done, what you haven't done. And then we're going to get to this point where we now know what you need. We need a payment. So you're going to pay us 3 months of what we are going to charge you in that first month as an upfront payment. This gives us cash flow as a business. We now have 30 grand that we can start building the team with. So we now have 30 grand to say, hey, I know I need this person. I know I need a social media manager. I know I need the website development. These are people we already have, but now I can go pay them right now instead of being like, gosh, I can't pay you till they pay me. This gives you money to operate. It's so important as a business to have that up front. This is also a very tough close. But if you're able to establish credibility and really help them understand the long-term benefit of working with you, this upfront payment is easy for them. They're just like looking at this as cool. Just look at it as a gym membership. You're going to join a new gym. There's an upfront payment that you have to pay to join the gym, right? That's the same thing as this. Is the client's paying you an upfront fee so you have money to invest in their business and their content needs. For example, like I said, the $10,000 a month, the 3-month upfront retainer is 30 grand. So they're going to pay you 30 grand. Then after the second month, it's $10,000 at the end of each month. So to help you understand that, month one free, but you've just gotten an upfront payment at the end of month one, which is actually almost just the same as if you were to not do a month learning phase, you started doing content, and then at the end of the month, you're going to bill them, right? This is the same thing. You're going to make them have them pay a down payment of 3 months or 3 payments, whatever you want it to be. So it's the same thing. It's so healthy for a business. And then there's the first month, you got a big down payment. Second month, you're now going to get 10 grand. So they're paying that 30 grand is just a down payment. Don't look at it as it's paying for other months. It's not. It's an upfront sign up fee. That's all it is. And you're going to be very transparent with them. We can't do what you need unless we have money to invest. But by the time we're into month 4, 5, 6, it's the 10 grand and you're sitting pretty because you have an awesome team that's just flowing, right? So now you're at 10K at the end of each month. This pricing model gives us the financial structure to meet the content needs with stability and clarity, which is very important. And this is so that at the end of, and then we want to make sure that, like I said in that, in one of the sections, we also want to be upfront with, hey, 6 months down the road, we need to reassess. And we'll talk about that in later sections, but we need to reassess. And now it's, you need to be at a 15K retainer, 20K retainer based on their needs. So we'll get to that section when we get there. But right now, that is the pricing model. It's pretty complicated, but it really makes sense if you understand it. So please ask me questions, go into the community board, drop any lines if you need answers to any of those questions. And then don't forget about the coaching. I want to coach you. So make sure to join that if you want to do that. I would love it if you did. I think if you're at this point and you're excited, this is where it gets really fun when you can actually bring this to a company and actually have them close that. I want to be there with you when you close that because that's big time. If you can get that kind of a payment up front.